And we're back. This is D-Money once again. This video is going to be going over exotic gear in Destiny 2 that has anti-champion intrinsic modifiers. Just an FYI, if you've been playing the game largely consistently for the past 2 years since Shadowkeep, when champions were introduced to the game, this will be most, if not entirely, review to you. But if you're newer, this video is going to be pretty important for you. As you know, you do have anti-champion modifiers on the artifact that will help you handle them. However, since those are set to be specific things for each season, I just want to make sure you're fully aware of all the exotics that have these capabilities so you're not locked to just what the artifact has you do. Before I start going into specifics, I just want you to know a couple details. No exotics released prior to Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying have these innate capabilities. And also, anything that I tell you that comes from the kiosk is going to be under Shadowkeep Year 3. In addition, those items that are obtained from the kiosk in the tower, right here, Monument to Lost Lights, they will cost 1 exotic cipher, which you have to get a quest from Zur every weekend to complete that to get the cipher, 100,000 glimmer, 150 of a certain planetary material, and 1 Ascendant Shard, which can be bought from Banshee or Ada, or can be earned through playing higher level Nightfalls or grinding in Trials with a 7-win card. So we'll start with the anti-barrier weapons first. This one here is Arias Vow. It is a solar hand cannon that takes special ammo. This one came from the Undying Season Pass and is now obtainable at the Tower Kiosk. Now this, if you plan on doing Grandmasters or anything of the sort, this weapon is a must-have. Definitely save up and buy this one. And if you're really serious about doing Grandmasters or other high-level content, you need to get this masterworked as well. Make sure you get that catalyst. Back in Season of the Undying, there was a quest from Banshee. I'm not sure if that's still the case now. It was a grind and a half to get done, even with the booster from the Season Pass. But I promise you, if you want to do that high-level content, it is very much worth grinding out. The Masterwork will put an extra 3 bullets in the magazine and adds auto-loading holster. As you can see, the reload speed is god-awful. The Masterwork is pretty much a must. I can't imagine using this gun without it. The other anti-barrier exotic is the Lament, Solar Sword. This is obtained through an exotic quest in Beyond Light. You need to buy the expansion and complete the campaign first. In order to use this one, you have to use the guard button to rev the blade, and then you keep hacking at the barrier once it's up to break it down. Most people will do a combo of 3 light attacks followed by a heavy attack. That works the best in most cases. Given that it's a sword, it may not be as useful in content like Grandmaster Nightfalls, but this sword pretty much carried me through like all the seasonal content. You want to do Battlegrounds, Override, Astral Alignment, this weapon is probably going to be in your inventory. Next up, we have the only Overload exotic currently in the game. This is Divinity, an Arc Trace Rifle. It is obtained through an exotic quest, followed by an infamous Divinity run through the Garden of Salvation raid. This gun is very much worth getting, although you're going to have a hard time trying to get it since Garden of Salvation is 2-year-old content, and there's little to no reason for most people to replay it, so it's not a huge deal if you skip this one. Most people in a raid group will probably have it at their disposal anyway, so you can get away with not having it. And just as a few extra notes, the main use for this one is to basically create a giant crit spot on an enemy. Overload helps, it's a nice bonus, but it's not primarily what it's used for. And another thing about the usage of the weapon, you don't need to keep a constant stream. You don't need to hold the trigger down. You start with that, and once the bubble appears, just keep doing like a burst fire. Just keep, clicking or tapping repeatedly. Just do just enough to keep the bubble up. That will help you save a lot of ammo for future damage phases if needed. Now onto the unstoppable weapon. There are 3 unstoppable weapons, and there's 1 piece of armor that has unstoppable capability as well. We'll get to that later. So Bastion, this is a kinetic fusion rifle. This was obtained originally through a Season of Dawn exotic quest and is now available in the Tower Kiosk. Now this weapon didn't originally come with unstoppable rounds. It does now. Bungie added this to make it more viable in PvE content. You're going to see this and think, why would I need this when I have fusion rifle unstoppable already this season? Well, the thing is, if you use this, you won't have to use the armor mod for it, which means you can save that armor mod for something else. For example, fusion rifle loader, or perhaps if you want to set up a build and use the new stasis kickstart mods, there's also that. again, just making sure you know all the options that are available to you. In my opinion, this one is definitely worth getting, just to have for that utility. Next up is the Devil's Ruin. It is a solar sidearm, originally obtained through a Season of Dawn exotic quest, and also now available at the tower kiosk. In order to use this one to stun unstoppable enemies, you have to use the charge laser, as you can see right there. This one is decent. You can definitely skip this one though. However, I would recommend, if you are going to do the Iron Banner quest this season, I did use this gun for the sidearm kills. The charge laser makes it so much easier. I just can't use sidearms in most cases. This made it so much better. It's worth it for that alone, but overall, it's definitely passable. Right, the last unstoppable weapon option is Leviathan's Breath. It is a heavy void bow. Yes, you heard that right. It is a heavy bow. Originally obtained through an Undying exotic quest, and again, available at the tower kiosk. Not much to say about this one. Personally, you don't need to bother with it. The Masterwork just gives you more ammo to work with. Again, you don't need to worry about that. Just, you can skip this one. Doesn't have much use. Now that the weapons are out of the way, here's the one piece of exotic armor that gives you anti-champion capability. This is Athers Embrace for hunters. It is exotic gauntlet. This is obtained from completing a legend or master lost sector alone. As you can see, rapid precision hits with your weapons grant weighted knife a significant damage bonus and the ability to stun unshielded combatants for a short time, strong against unstoppable champions. Personally, I've never used this armor at all in PvE or in PvP. Most applications I've seen for it are involved in PvP. You know, there are a lot of hilarious videos out there of people hitting crazy throwing knife shots with this. But the PvE utility, in my opinion, just isn't really there. Because after all, if you're going to be running a solar hunter in high level content where there are champions, you're probably going to be running Celestial Nighthawk instead of this. So you may end up getting this on the way to grinding out other exotic armors through the lost sectors. So in which case it's worth holding on to, maybe have some fun with it. But personally, I don't think there's anything special about it. One last thing before I go, bear in mind that exotics with intrinsic traits are not compatible with artifact mods. For example, even though you can equip a hand cannon mod like Overload Unstoppable, which are not available in this season on hand cannon, but in past seasons they were, those would not work with Arias Vow. Same with how Overload Bow would not work with Leviathan's Breath, so on and so forth. Anyway, if you appreciated the information, the refresher, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, what have you. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.